Welcome to my blog. I founded my own company because I felt that I had something to add to the organization and direction of the security industry as a whole, especially when it comes down to the adoption of these smart devices which automate and add comfort to our lives. After many years of working in many different industries focusing on security, I found that the more I got into security and the more I understood the organization and management of business, I found that the two were becoming or are basically one and the same thing. However, there's a lot of gaps when it comes to the understanding in different groups within companies of how to implement security and implement business management across different organizations within companies. Back in my days working as a technician, I always wondered how to bridge the gap between the hardware and software groups and why it was that anybody that worked in hardware didn't know what software was doing. Anybody that worked in software didn't understand the hardware aspects. So it was starting to bridge that gap. And looking for how that gap was bridged, I went to re-educate myself and chose a path, an education path in computer engineering, which was half computer science, half electrical engineering, thinking that it would help me in some way to understand that gap that I was seeing between software and hardware understanding. I was surprised at my time in the university to find that my computer science classes were taught by people who had spent their entire life in computer science. My electrical engineering classes were spent by people who had spent their entire life in electrical engineering. And even at that level, they didn't have an understanding or too much of a definition of how the two crossed and to bridge that gap between the two. As I brought that forward into my business experience and became more in tune with the management aspects of business, I saw another gap between information technology and technology in general and the business side. And once again, the schools and the education for business are taught by business people, and the schools for engineering are taught by engineering people. And again, you have this gap where the two don't really have a common body of knowledge or many people that bridge this divide. As I said, business and cybersecurity are really one and the same thing. And cybersecurity can be used to bridge the gap between business and technology, between electrical engineering and computer science, between operational technology and information technology. And nowhere does all these gaps come into play with more focus than in a critical infrastructure environment where you have hardware, physical devices, and software, IT systems, and business knowledge all interacting and bridging this gap. And that's what I'm going to focus on with security management, is how do you bridge kind of this three-way gap. This is the same thing you see in the IT-OT integration and the industrial controls versus information technology gaps. Pulling all these together, security management is what we're going to talk about, to focus and pull these gaps together. I know I don't have all the answers. I don't even have all the areas I need to focus on. But we have to start somewhere. I have been, as well as what I see in the rest of the industry, stuck in what I like to call the assimilative paradox for the last several years, where security people in nature are very intelligent, very knowledgeable about their organizations and everything that's going on, but also very detail-oriented and will sit back, collect information to try and get all the details and everything put together before they make a decision so that they don't make the wrong decision. In a world where information comes in faster than you can digest it, they end up in continuous information gathering, and this paradox of I can't actually implement and physically move forward until I get all the information becomes just a continuous circle, a paradox they're stuck in, assimilating information. It's resource after resource. My goal is to get out possible solutions, not look for the 100% solution, because there is no 100% secure solution, but to engineer in security and engineer it in a way that we can recover from and refresh the security posture and expect to have security breaks, but make a way to design in recovery methods from those events. Please keep checking back on my blog. I'd love to have all your comments too. Your comments is what makes the future topics possible. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.